Alright, so this is my data set or data analysis project for this 14er data set I found. It just has some values for each of these mountains, and I analyzed a couple of them. I did elevation, the difficulty of the mountain, and then elevation gain, just to sort of stone the picked. And then I used this library, Plotly Express. It helped me just make a graph, which was pretty cool. I also tried to use the matplotlib, but that one was just a little more difficult to use, and it didn't let me have some other features that I liked about the Plotly. So you'll just see that commented out throughout the code in case you ever want to use it again. So I also took some notes on pandas just when I was first learning how to do all that. And it also helped me. This one used a lot just to check I was writing my columns correctly, or writing the names of the columns correctly, so I could call them correctly in this. So these are just each of my graphs that will show up, and I'll just show you how they show up. There we go, there we go. And I've done this too many times, so they're all popped up in my browser. But there we go. The first one is difficulty versus elevation gain. So this one kind of tells us just how the difficulty and elevation gain, there's a trend line going up, that as the elevation gain is higher in the mountain, it's generally a harder hike, except for Pikes Peak. Apparently that's an easier hike for the amount of elevation you gain in the distance. And over here, I'll just explain real quick the y-axis. I was having difficulty dealing with the inputs from the data set of the y-axis. So this class 4 should be up here, but that's the only one out of place. But I'm not sure why I couldn't move that around, but in the future I would want to change that and make it up there so it makes a little more sense. Okay, and then the next one is elevation versus elevation gain. This one kind of just tells us how each hike would be. So, like Blanca Peak, it's a tall mountain and it has a great elevation gain, so that'd be a pretty hard hike. And then Pikes Peak, as we saw in the other one, it's a great elevation gain, but not as high as comparatively to this mountain. I would do like Sherman Mountain if I was going to hike any of these. Let's see. This is elevation versus difficulty of climbing 14ers. This one was not what I expected because the trend line seems to be going down, and you would expect that the higher the mountain, maybe it would be harder the higher it is up, but not with this data set apparently. So that can just tell us that there's got to be other things going into what's making the climb difficult, so I'd have to go back and look at the other values that were in the data set and maybe compare the difficulty to, say, prominence or isolation and distance, because something else is obviously playing a factor to what is making those 14ers so difficult. So yeah, and then the questions I was trying to answer were, okay, how does elevation correlate with the difficulty of climbing each 14er? And I answered over here in the other one, which 14ers have the highest elevation gain compared to their elevation? How does elevation gain compare to the climb difficulty? And so I just told you guys about that, but I also typed it up there. And thanks for watching. That's all I have for you.